in Egypt made a very cogent statement. He said, look, this whole thing, when the whole world is afraid of Islam, when is one of the so-called moderates going to wake up, or will they ever wake up?
Pat, I'm here in Washington, D.C. I'm still waiting for that million Muslim march on the National Mall. We still haven't seen it since 9/11, right? When are they going to wake up? Pat, if ISIS hasn't awoken a slumbering, moderate Muslim community around the world, I don't know what will.
So all these guys are clear. The moderate Muslims have not condemned the terrorist attack, which of course default means I guess they agree with it because they didn't denounce it. That's interesting. Why don't we go ahead and look at exactly what happened here? Oh, CARE said, quote, "We strongly condemn this brutal and cowardly attack and reiterate our repudiation of any such assault on freedom of speech, even speech that mocks faith and religious figures." How about the Muslim Community USA? They said, quote, "This is about uneducated, ignorant youth who are being manipulated by clerics and extremists. And this is why it's all the more important for us as the moderates, regardless of faith, to stay united and combat this." How about the Muslim Council of Britain, who said, quote, "The Muslim Council of Britain condemns this attack, whomever the attackers are and whatever their cause may be. Nothing justifies the taking of life." How about the French Muslim Council, who said, quote, "This extremely grave barbaric action is an attack against democracy and the freedom of the press. Exercise the utmost vigilance against possible manipulations from extremist groups." How about the Union of Islamic Organizations of France, who said, quote, "The UOIF condemns in the strongest terms possible these criminal acts and horrible deaths. The UOIF offers its condolences to the families and all employees of Charlie Hebdo." How about the Arab League, who said, quote, "We strongly condemn the terrorist attack on the Charlie Hebdo newspaper in Paris." How about the Muslim Youth Association, who said, quote, "The sanctity of human life is central to our faith. That lives could be taken in this manner for any cause is appalling and unjustifiable." How about the Muslim Advisory Council to the NYPD, who said, quote, "Regardless of motive or rationalization or evidence or excuse, killing 12 innocent people to avenge the Prophet Muhammad has no justification and must be condemned without citing any victimhood." The Birmingham Islamic Society said, quote, "Our heart goes out to those who were brutally murdered in this cowardice terrorist attack by the so-called defenders of Islam." How about the Islamic Cooperation Organization, who said, quote, "The OIC hopes that culprits would soon be apprehended and presented to justice in France, conveying condolences to the families of the victims, the French government and people, and wishing the injured a quick recovery." How about the National Council of Canadian Muslims, who said, quote, "We are absolutely shocked and horrified by what happened. It is an absolute tragedy and it is a crime." Okay, understand, that isn't even half the list. Here's the thing. You should be fired if you say no Muslims condemned the attack, because that means very simply you didn't do your fucking job and research before you opened your mouth. The one job you have, being a news person, whether you're a pundit, whether you're a reporter, whether you're a journalist, or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, the one job you have is to learn the facts before you talk. And they did not do that. They spoke out of a stereotype of Muslims, as opposed to going to the data, going to the evidence, going to the actual quotes. All these guys would have had to do is Google it, and they would have gotten their answer. But no, they'd rather bathe in their ignorance and say whatever they think is the case, even though it's the exact opposite of the reality. And also, let's recognize how ridiculous the premise is. So does Pat Robertson have to apologize every time that there's a KKK chapter that we discover? Does the Pope have to denounce the Norway Christian terrorist, Anders Breivik, who killed over 60 people, mostly children, because he said in his manifesto he is a Christian? Or how about Joel Osteen, the televangelist? Does he have to denounce the Phineas movement, the person who killed in Dallas, Texas, who is a Christian terrorist, self-described? No, we have this massive double standard where we say the default position for Muslims is that they agree with terrorism. No, but this is what people mean when they talk about Islamophobia. Anybody who ever says Islamophobia is totally made up, like it's a concept, it's a term that has no, meaning to it whatsoever, that person is being ignorant, and that person is wrong on that point. Because this is Islamophobia. It's the idea that the default position is that they all agree with the terrorist attack because you know how they are.